Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here. Time for another edition of the Feed 5 podcast. I'm on a solo mission still because Nathaniel Lundy is getting absolutely roasted and toasted right now in Hawaii. Again, hopefully the Mai Tais are going down very smoothly there on Heaven on Earth, which is Waikiki Beach. But as we always do here on the Fade 5 pod, let's hop aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus. Is my favorite wager. Plus 100 odds or greater across the spectrum of sports books. And let's have an eye to the future and flash forward here. I see Tennessee has a decent shot of winning the SEC. I'm going to take him at plus 160, and I grab this at BetMGM. I mean, look at the Volunteers. VOLS. I can already hear Danny Clevenger, her voice in the back of my head, my co-host on Live and Line, who did some work for the University of Tennessee back in the day. So a lot of strong associations there. But this Volunteers team is certainly not out of the conversation of taking the league here in the SEC. Look at the rest of the season schedule. They got Texas A&M and Auburn at home. They should win both those affairs with them being there in Knoxville. Texas A&M right now straight on the fence, so whether or not going to make the tournament. I have them fearlessly forecast on my bracket big board as a number 11 seed, but tenuous really applies to them. Auburn, a top 3 seed overall, but kind of a rickety resume there. Really, the key tipping point matchup is in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. That's a third game here on the list of the remaining slate. Then they follow at South Carolina and then home against Kentucky. So ain't no walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination for Rick Barnes' club, but their ability to defend and really play at variable speeds. And they have arguably the best player on the floor in every single one of those matchups in Dalton Knecht. The Northern Colorado transfer has been just splashing from outside repeatedly. I think it gives them a fighting chance. You look at Alabama, in which the Volunteers trail by a game right now in the SEC. Their remaining schedule at Kentucky coming up this weekend, at Ole Miss. Both those games will certainly not be easy roads to hoe. Then Tennessee, as I mentioned there, at home in Tuscaloosa, at Florida, another difficult matchup there. Maybe first 110 wins in that briskly paced game. And then they're going to absolutely slam Arkansas at home in the SEC regular season finale. So pulled all together, Tennessee, decent little value there, plus 160 to win the SEC at BetMGM. With that, better the board. Let's get after it with a Saturday College Hoops edition. Oh, it's so heavenly with another Fade 5. All right, numero cinco here at the countdown, and I am doing this pod early on a Friday morning before the lines are even out there. So I'm using Kim Palm as a guide here, and I'm going to give you my gut reaction and thoughts on maybe on the total or on the projected spread. So let's go to the Big East and a bubblicious matchup here. Butler and Seton Hall, both I have projected right now as number 11 seeds. Butler, a member of my last 4 in, and you look at Seton Hall just above that cut line. A little bit safer are the Pirates. Yar, shiver me timbers, and they're laying 3 according to KenPom. They're at home. I expect this line open at maybe 3.5, 4 with the Pirates, and I say plunge that cutlass into the Bulldogs there. I'm going to take Seton Hall in the chalk here at home. You look at Butler, a team that is 3-6 straight up on the road this season, and they're just painfully mediocre in some of the advanced analytics that are out there. Number 177 on the road in EFG offense. Number 157 in EFG defense. More specifically, they are netting 36.1% from distance, so they can really, pop, lock, load, and splash from outside. But number 280 at EFG defense over the last 30 days, giving a 52.2% inside there and 34.4% outside of it is a deterrent, to say the least. So defensively, they've got all kinds of issues, especially in the interior, and that's where Seton Hall really makes its hay. They just bludgeon you around the bucket and dominate the paint. A team at a shooting right around 50% from 2 here for the last 30 days. And a team, too, that really gets out, defends the three-point arc extraordinarily well. Over the last month, giving up just 30.8% from distance. And again, that's kind of a strong suit offensively for the Bulldogs. On top of that, the Hall 11-3 straight up at home this year, and number 63 in EFG defense. And cherry on top of the Sunday, Seton Hall went into Indy, in the Hinkle, historic Hinkle Fieldhouse, and knocked off the Bulldogs earlier this year, 78-72. So again, 3.5, 4, maybe you play something like 4.5. I like Seton Hall scoring the cover on that projected line. And if I had to bet on the total, I might go slightly under a projected total of 142. So if you're working the SGP market, a great way to attack Butler and Seton Hall on Saturday. Numero Quattro here on the all-college basketball edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Look ahead to another Saturday matchup, and it's a scintillating one in its own right. Texas traveling to Fog Island to take on Kansas. And, right now, Ken Pop got Kansas at a -6 projected spread there and a 144 overall total. And, looking at the advanced analytics that are out there, I can't fake KU, not at home. They're a completely different team away from Lawrence, far more susceptible, far more beatable. But at home this season, they're untouched. They're unblemished. They're undefeated. A perfecto 13-0, number 16 in those home matchups in EFG offense, and number 37 in EFG defense. Now, if you look the full body worker last month, they are number 7 overall, according to Bart Torvik, but it's mainly due to their defensive chops. Not so much them putting ball through the basket. I've done a good job scoring around the rim. See Hunter Dickinson, for example, but they're only shooting 31.1% from distance. So they need Furphy to step up. They need some of the other McCullough. Somebody's got to start knocking down some J's from outside if they are going to prevail and get the coast-free cover in this one. You look at Texas, not that far from Kansas in the overall Bart Torvik ranks over the last 30 days, number 14. A team, though, that's number 198 EFG offense and number 130 in EFG defense. But most importantly, on the road, true road games, yes, they're 3-4, okay? Nothing really to scoff at there. But number 328, let me repeat that, 328. An effective field goal percentage defense. So given Kansas's usual rise to the occasion play, they're inside the friendly confines of Fog Island, and Texas's defensive struggles on the road, I say rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Baby, I'll lay the chalk with rock chalk there. Kansas -6, -6.5. I play this up to -7.5. Wherever you are wagering on this line at your favorite book. So KU with the slam dunk, hopefully authority win. Numero tres here on the Fade 5 podcast. We got Duke. We got Wake Forest, and Wake desperately needs a victory. One of my first 4 teams out of the bracket big board. You can see that projection, by the way, absolutely free right now at thegamingjuice.com. Thegamingjuice.com is my brand new website. Got all kinds of content from this harebrain, including the bracket big board, which I update multiple times every single day from now through Selection Sunday. Go to thegamingjuice.com and sign up for an account. It's absolutely free. Come on. All my picks are there, all my betting thoughts, and, of course, the world-famous bracket big board. Again, Wake Forest, member of my first 4 teams out, and they got their backs in the wall, and they need a quality win on the resume. I like Wake. And you look at Duke right now at Ken Pom, a -1 projected favorite. I'm guessing this is going to open as a pick 'em. Honestly, it could open as like Duke -1.5, and that line could shift, could sway in favor of the Demon Deacons by tip time. They may catch a point and a half to start, but they could be favored by that margin by the time this game closes on the line. I like desperate teams because they have to, employ desperate measures to ensure that they're going to go dancing. And I think Wake really needs that marquee victory to add to the quadrant ones that it's seeking. Not only that, too, but you look at Bart Torvik, and you can sort data on that site. It's absolutely free as well. Highly recommended. So over the last 30 days, among all teams in college basketball, like 360 plus, Wake Forest is number 5 overall. That's right, number 5, numero cinco. So a team that's really playing at a high level. The advanced data does also back that ranking up. Number 52, EFG offense, and number 19 in EFG defense. Now, turnovers have plagued them at times. So hopefully they're not going to shoot themselves the foot too often, but a team that really gets after it on the defensive rebounding glass. Excellent three-point defense as well. They shackle the arc. And when you got a guy in McCain who is just lighting up the scoreboard right now, he had 8 threes a couple of contests ago in a single game. I think they could really take advantage of Duke. And you look at Duke, yeah, they're 6-3 in true road games this year, top 65 EFG offense and EFG defense in those affairs, and they're top 40 in EFG offense, EFG defense over the last month. But again, the desperation factor is so extraordinarily high, and the fact that Wake gets out and challenges shots, and they're playing at a high level offensively. Give me the Demon Deacons. I don't care what the line is. And if I get a plus money, I might just take them on the money line at additional plus odds in the end. So Wake, hopefully you got to score that marquee victory because you sure as well need it. Numero dos here on the feed at 5. Countdown. Looking ahead to Saturday. Let's go to another monster matchup. Houston and Baylor in a battle of Big 12 behemoths. Houston, according to KenPom, favored by 3. And I expect to be favored in that probably 2.5 to 3.5 range. And quite honestly, I think the best bet on the board is going to be on the total. I'm going to bet the under. That total projected at KenPom of 135, and it probably is going to open right around there. I don't know if this game's going to get into the 130s, quite honestly. And you might say, well, Baylor, they could really flat out score the rock. That is true, but there is a twist. There is a little wrinkle in the profile for the Baylor Bears that suggests the under is indeed going to hit here. And it's simple as this. Let me give the background. Baylor 12-1, straight up there in Waco this season, number 6 in EFG offense. But a middling number 118 at EFG defense. And that's the biggest weakness for them. They're number 50 EFG offense the last 30 days, but number 325 nationally in EFG defense. How does that factor into the under? It really doesn't. The key is this. Baylor the last month, shockingly, is number 339 in adjusted tempo. So a team that historically loves to get up and down the hardwood, not doing so here of late, and really haven't done for much of the season. They have slowed it down, kept it in a half-court grind, and that plays into the hands of Houston, who relishes that kind of tempo, evidenced by the number 309 adjusted tempo ranking since late January. And the Cougs, number 2 overall, according to Bart Torvik, a phenomenal defensive team, evidenced by the number 57 ranking in EFG defense on the road, but number just 335 in EFG offense on the road this season. So, they get a ton of second chance opportunities. Baylor's really going to have to box out to have any kind of chance of springing the mild upset here. Not only that, too, but Houston forces a shit ton of turnovers on the opposition. And I know Baylor is number 281 in 2-point percentage D, number 322 in 3-point percentage D the last 30 days, which kind of, has me lean to the Cougs here, laying the chalk. But I think that under at a projected 135 is the play, because things got to be slowed down, and defense is the name of thy game for the Cougars. And if it's going to be a limited possession kind of affair, I think it's going to be like 128, 129, maybe 130. Hopefully overtime is going to get stiff arm. So give me the under in Houston, Baylor. And I've had to lean on the spread. I will go with Houston -3, -3.5, or -4. Numero uno here on the Fade 5 podcast. Let's go with the mother of all matchups this weekend in the SEC and title hopes potentially on the line. It could get really murky if Alabama were to get tripped up on the road in Lexington against Big Blue Nation and Kentucky Wildcats. KenPom's got Alabama projected as a 2-point victor, 90-88. So it could be the 180s with the total. And I kind of still like the over. I mean, this is going to have NBA feels all over it. This could be like a 105 to 100 kind of game. But I am actually going to side with the Kentucky Wildcats here, especially if they are a home dog. And the reason being is this. Yes, Alabama, 4-3 straight up this season on the road. Quite respectable number 38 EFG offense, but just number 191 in EFG defense in those away matchups. They're number 8 overall, according to Bart Torvik, the last month. One of the fastest teams in the nation, number 5 at adjusted tempo. Number 34 EFG offense the last 30 days. Number 83 EFG defense the last 30 days. Excellent on the offensive glass. Box out. Get those shoulders up. Stick out that ass and make sure you prevent second chance opportunity bigs of Kentucky. And if you can do that, I think you could win. I know, inside rub, Kentucky lost inexplicably three straight games here of late. That's why they're 11-4. That's it at home this season. But they are number 6 at home in AFG offense. And here is the best news if you are a Kentucky fan. The defense has kind of shown up here last couple of games. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, they lost to LSU at a letdown spot, but they only give up 0.85 points per possession on the road against Auburn. And even in that loss against the Tigers, who could really fill the cup, they only gave up 1.07 points per possession. So if that defense is playing, I would say even at a B plus level in this contest, I think Kentucky wins. And let me back that up on the D, number 58 in EFG defense of the Wildcats over the last 30 days. So the susceptible, the disadvantageous defense is overblown based on what this team has done in the advanced analytics here over last month. Also, great offensive rebounding team in their own right. If they can win that battle of the boards, I say Big Blue Nation gets another marquee on the resume, another marquee win, and it'll probably move up a bracket line. I have them right now as the highest number 6 seed. If they knock off Bama, and there's other variables of play, but likely to be on that 5 line. Ooh, 5-12 first round matchup. Ooh, pucker up, Wildcat fans. But I'm liking you to spring the very mild upsets, according to Ken Palm, of Not So Roll Tide. All right, before we get out of here on the Fade 5 podcast, it's bonus time, bonus time. Let me give you some action on Friday night. And this is something you can actually battle right now. I wrote about this. If you want all the gory details, you can get it for free. You can read it. It'll take you all like a whopping 10 minutes. All my content on there is short form written, nothing that really exceeds like 400 or 500 words. But I got a full game breakdown, my thoughts on it, and maybe an inappropriate joke or two embedded in there because I'm all about picks with personality. That aside, to the Nevada Wolfpack, taking on San Jose State on the road in a Mountain West matchup on Friday night. So I'm going to play this on SGP. I'm going to take the line down, Nevada minus 5.5, and I'm going to take the total all the way down to the bottom barrel number that you can get at BetMGM, and it is 130.5, and I'm going to hit the over on that. You put those two legs together, plus 105, little baby, seduced by the Jews there at BetMGM. Why do I like this SGP? Well, for those people who have been reading the the sledgehammer specials on the Gaming Juice, I've impossibly won 6 in a row. I'm about to cool off. Maybe it happens with this game, but maybe it does not. So hopefully the heater is going to continue. Oh, I can't. Oh, there it is, to burn brightly. And hopefully I won't blow out that flame. But again, on the SGP, minus 5.5 there for Nevada on the alt spread. And on the alt total, taking the over 130.5 at plus 105. The reason I'm backing this is simple. Nevada's number 23 overall in college basketball, according to Bart Torvik's advanced analytics the last 30 days. On the year, they are top 65 in the country in effective field goal percentage, offense, and defensive efficiency as well. So a team that can really get after it. They played not that long ago, and Nevada won by 30. Yeah, it was 90-60 in that matchup in Reno. They had 18 offensive rebounds, 11 made triples, only 5 turnovers, and netted an obscene 1.43 points per possession. Wow. San Jose State is one of the worst, like Power 6 conference, Power 7 conference teams in the entire land. They are 1-8 in their last 9 games. And over that 9-game stretch, number 234 to EFG offense. So putting ball through basket is a bit of a chore. And even worse, number 357 357. I mean, the Drake's a keg there. An effective field goal percentage defense. They're giving up specifically 56.2% from 2 and 42.8% from 3. So the guards, Blackshear and friends of Nevada, should absolutely tee off in this game. And that's why I like them on the SGP. To recap, Wolfpack minus 5.5, over 130.5 of the all total, plus 105 there at BetMGM. If you want to read more, go to thegamingjuice.com. All right, let's get an NBA play on the day. The Team Huevos parlay play of the day, as a matter of fact. And it's OKC and the woeful Washington Wizards. Give me the Thunder, and I think they're going to bring that minus 5.5 on the alt spread. Give me SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 20 or more points, 4 more rebounds, 1 steal, and a block. So a whole lot of SGA action, playing them like I usually do Wimby. You put all of those legs together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, mi amigos. Cool, plus 200 at BetMGM. A little bit of background on this one. Do I got to give you background on Oklahoma City on the alt spread minus 5.5, taking that way down? It's in double figures. It's Washington. You don't need another reason. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA for myriad reasons. Meanwhile, you look at SGA specifically, 20 or more points. Should be able to get this with a windmill slam dunk. He had 32 in the first matchup between these two squads back on January 8th. He has done this in 15 straight games. And you look as well, Washington has allowed the 4th most points per game to opponents over the last 15 at 121.5. So I think he's going to easily net at least 20 points. In terms of SGA rebounds, I need 4 or more. In the first matchup back again on January 8th, he had 6 boards in that one. He has done this in 10 of his last 12 games. Of Washington over the last 15, numero uno in terms of most opponent rebounds per game allowed, and that number being at 48.7. So he should be able to get 4 squeezes of the rock. Going to steals, he has done this in 13 of 14 games. The last 14, getting a steal. He had 3 in that first matchup. Washington has allowed the 8th most opponent steals per game at 8 flat the last 15, and then 1 block. And this is kind of where the crook of the road could happen. But SGA has done this in 8 straight games. He did have 1 in that prior matchup. And Washington, the Wiz, have gotten their stuff swatted repeatedly. They have allowed the 2nd most opponent blocks per game of the last 15 at 6.8. So to recap the Team Huevos parlay play of the day in the NBA on the SGP, OKC minus 5.5 the alt spread. SGA 20 or more points. SGA 4 or more boards. SGA a steal. SGA with a block shot. All 5 legs plus 200 there at BetMGM. All right, I am out of breath. We're out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do me a favor. Sign up for a free account right now. All my content is living there, folks. I'm in control of my writing career, and it feels oh so damn good. And Boom Press has done a bang-up job building me a kick-ass site at thegamingjuice.com. Thegamingjuice.com. Fresh content every single day from this pea-sized brain. All you got to do is log on. And if you want to sign up for an account, have a conversation, there's all kinds of comment section. And I'm in there actively answering questions and just kind of exchanging thoughts with the users. We're trying to create a nice, tight-knit community there at thegamingjuice.com, just in time for March Madness as well. Also, drop us a rating or review of this podcast and fade or follow us on the X or the Twitter at Noisy Huevos, my account there. Spreadsheet lives now on thegamingjuice.com. Same format, always free, always accessible, always transparent. So log on there. But I do check my Twitter feed from time to time. Lundy's got all his free spreadsheet picks at Nate Lundy, and he is going to be contributing some hockey picks soon to thegamingjuice.com, but he's on vacacion. Enjoy it, mi amigo. I got to roll because I got to go speak to some college students. No lie. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you. And I still haven't recovered from Illinois melting down the other day.